I have nothing interesting to say. I look insane. Everyone's just ignoring my phone calls. Whatever, it's chill. I don't even care.
Exciting moments, but also like the little blips where I just don't feel great. I think that's really important that you see me as a human being, because I think a lot of people don't. So I don't know. I want that disclaimer.
Imagine being at the top of Hollywood's A-list, with blockbuster roles and a bright future, only to throw it all into chaos by firing your entire team in a single week. That's exactly what Rachel Zegler did, and the industry is still trying to make sense of it. From her breakout in West Side Story to the firestorm around Snow White, Rachel's been a magnet for both adoration and controversy. But this latest move, cutting ties with her agent, manager, and publicist, has everyone asking, is this a bold power move, a career meltdown, or something deeper we haven't seen yet? Today, we're diving into the drama, the rumors,
My name is Rachel Zegler, and I'm getting ready, and I'd love if you came inside and came on the journey with me. Welcome to my hotel room. Come in. Team! We're doing it again! Team!
Let's start with the bombshell that shook Tinseltown. In just 7 days, Rachel Zegler, the 24-year-old star who skyrocketed to fame as Maria in Steven Spielberg's West Side Story, reportedly severed ties with her entire professional team. Her agent, who negotiated her Disney deals, gone. Her manager, who guided her since her teenage years, out. Her publicist, tasked with protecting her image, history. Insiders describe the firings as swift and brutal, with Rachel personally making the calls, one after another, no explanations, no goodbyes. It was like she flipped a switch, one source said, a clean wipeout, no warning. The speed and secrecy sent shockwaves through Hollywood, where such moves are rare for a star of her caliber. Rachel wasn't just another actress, she was Disney's new princess, with Snow White set to cement her as a household name. So why would she torch her inner circle at the height of her career? To understand, we need to go back to a disaster that changed everything.
But I just want to say, in my personal life, I intend to move forward with a lot more grace for myself as I grow. There is a lot that I don't know, and I won't know it until I learn it, until I feel it, until I understand it, until I can see it in my hands and say, I am not broken, I am just learning. My break is not my end.
The Evita production was meant to be Rachel's grand return to the stage, a bold pivot after months of online backlash. Evita, the iconic musical about Eva Perón, Argentina's polarizing first lady, was a chance for Rachel to showcase her vocal range and dramatic depth. She'd been cast as Eva, a role that demanded charisma and grit, and early buzz suggested it could redefine her image. But things unraveled from day one. According to sources close to the production, Rachel arrived with her own vision, suggesting lyric changes to modernize the score and tweaks to soften Eva's controversial political legacy. The director, a theater veteran known for his rigid approach, pushed back hard. This isn't a workshop, he reportedly told her. You're here to perform, not rewrite history. Tensions escalated when Rachel clashed with the choreographer over what she called demeaning movements, insisting on changes to reflect a more empowered Eva. Then came the costume drama. She refused fittings unless the crew was female only, citing privacy concerns. By week 2, rehearsals were a battleground. One explosive moment saw Rachel storm off after being asked to dial back her vocal runs in Don't Cry For Me Argentina, a move the musical director called disruptive. A leaked rehearsal report, shared anonymously online, described her as combative and emotionally erratic, warning producers that cast morale was crumbling. 2 supporting actresses walked out after a heated rehearsal where Rachel allegedly accused one of sabotaging her cues, a claim the actress called delusional. Through it all, her team stayed silent, offering no mediation or public defense. That silence, sources say, was the breaking point. But there's more to this story. Before Evita imploded, Rachel was already navigating a PR nightmare. Her comments about Disney's Snow White, where she was cast as the iconic princess, had sparked a firestorm. In a 2023 interview, Rachel called the 1937 original weird, criticized its outdated prince, and said the remake would focus on Snow White as a leader, not a damsel. Fans of the classic felt betrayed, accusing her of disrespecting a beloved story. Social media erupted with clips of her interviews, edited into memes that branded her as ungrateful and out of touch. Hashtags like #NotMySnowWhite trended, and an I Hate Her movement gained traction, with YouTube reaction videos racking up millions of views. Her team's response? A weak attempt to frame it as authenticity, but the damage was done. Every new interview seemed to fuel the fire, with Rachel doubling down on her views, calling out critics for twisting her words. One particularly viral clip showed her rolling her eyes at a question about the backlash, saying, "It's just a movie, people." Her publicist, whose job was to steer her through this storm, barely intervened. No damage control, no strategic apologies, just radio silence. Fans started to wonder, was her team even trying to save her? That question leads us to a darker twist. Whispers of betrayal began to surface, and they're chilling. Unverified rumors claim Rachel got her hands on private messages where her team trashed her behind her back. One alleged Slack thread from her publicist read, "We can't keep cleaning this up. She won't listen, she just wants applause." Another message, supposedly from her manager to a West End producer, called her unmanageable and too emotional to handle. Her agent, who'd secured her West Side Story role, was reportedly warning casting directors about her unpredictability months before Evita collapsed. True or not, sources say Rachel believed every word. She felt stabbed in the back by the very people paid to protect her. One insider claims she confronted her manager directly, saying, "Your one job was to shield me, and you let me walk into a war zone blind." Picture this, a young star, barely in her mid-20s, discovering her trusted circle was allegedly mocking her while her career burned. It's no wonder she went nuclear, firing them all in a week. But the fallout from that decision was bigger than anyone expected. Hollywood doesn't take kindly to chaos, and Rachel's move sent a seismic message. Within days, her name started disappearing from casting shortlists. A high-profile director allegedly pulled her from an upcoming thriller, saying she was too hot to touch. Paddington 3, where she was rumored for a role, dropped her. The studio cited the 2023 SAG strike, but other SAG actors stayed on, fueling speculation that her Snow White backlash was the real reason. An Apple TV animated film she voiced was scrapped, later picked up by Netflix, but insiders whisper Apple bailed to avoid her toxic buzz. One executive put it bluntly, "She's radioactive right now. No one wants to bet millions on a star who fights her own team." Even Disney, the studio that crowned her as Snow White, is reportedly rethinking its marketing. Sources say the new strategy is to push the film's visuals and ensemble, not Rachel herself. In Hollywood, that's a death knell disguised as a pivot. Studios don't argue or negotiate, they just move on. One talent agent described it as a soft blacklist. Rachel's not banned, but her name's being scrubbed from conversations. Directors don't want the drama, producers don't want the baggage, and co-stars are quietly asking not to be paired with her for press runs. But just when it seemed like Rachel was fading, she did something no one saw coming. Days after the firings, Rachel broke her silence, not with a polished PR statement or a tearful apology, but with a cryptic Instagram post. White text on a black screen, "If they can't help you fly, let them go." No caption, no context, just raw defiance. Fans quickly noticed she'd followed 3 new accounts: a branding coach who helped Lindsay Lohan stage her comeback, an indie producer known for gritty, self-funded films that skip the studio system, and a former publicist turned YouTube docuseries creator who specializes in rebuilding tarnished images. The internet lit up with speculation. Rachel's building her own team, one that answers to her, not Hollywood. Sources close to her say she's planning a personal media project, something raw and unfiltered, like a video diary or docuseries where she controls the narrative. Think Meghan Markle's Netflix special, but grittier, a chance for Rachel to paint herself as a misunderstood fighter, not a diva. She's done with middlemen, one insider said. She wants to tell her story, no filters. In today's world, where attention is currency, this could be a game changer. Rachel still has millions of eyes on her, and that audience might be all she needs to flip the script. But to understand why she's taking this risk, we need to zoom out. Rachel's career has been a roller coaster of highs and lows. West Side Story in 2021 was her peak. Critics called her Spielberg's muse. A 20-year-old with a voice that could break hearts and a presence that stole scenes. She was Hollywood's next golden girl, signed to Disney's Snow White and hyped as the future of the industry. But then came the Snow White backlash, and it wasn't just about her comments. Fans felt she dismissed their childhood memories, and her refusal to back down, tweeting cryptic jabs at critics and unfollowing colleagues, made it worse. One ex-co-star from a past project allegedly said, "Rachel builds walls fast. Once you're out, you're gone." That pattern repeated with Evita, where her clashes weren't just with the cast but with the entire production's vision. Psychologists who study celebrity behavior call this an isolation spiral, when rising stars, under intense pressure, start seeing everyone as the enemy. It leads to paranoia, abrupt cuts, and career self-sabotage. One fan account summed it up in a now-deleted post, "We love Rachel, but is she pushing everyone away?" Her fans are split. Some see a fierce artist fighting for control, others see a star unraveling under the spotlight's glare. The truth might be somewhere in between, but it's a dangerous line to walk. Now, Rachel stands alone, no agent, no manager, no publicist, just her and a phone. Firing her team didn't erase the viral clips of her Snow White interviews or the leaked Evita reports. It didn't mend the bridges she burned with co-stars or the trust she lost with studios. But maybe that's not her goal. Maybe Rachel's not trying to fix the past. She's trying to burn it down and start fresh. It's a high-stakes gamble in an industry that thrives on connections and second chances. Hollywood forgets fast, but it also loves a comeback if it's bold enough. Rachel's betting on herself, banking on her talent and her audience to pull her through. Her rumored media project could be her lifeline, a chance to reframe her story as one of resilience, not rebellion. But the risks are huge. One wrong move, one poorly timed post, and the silence around her could become permanent. Even her former team isn't staying quiet. Rumors of legal action are swirling, with unverified claims that Rachel's considering suing for professional sabotage. If true, it could drag her into a messy public battle, one that even her loyal fans might not stick around for. So, where does Rachel Zegler go from here? She's at a crossroads, with no safety net and a trail of burned bridges behind her. Was this a calculated reset, a storm she had to unleash to take back her power? Or is it the first sign of a star spiraling, where pride and pressure collided into chaos? One thing's certain, Rachel's not playing by Hollywood's rules anymore. She's writing her own script, and the world's watching to see if it's a masterpiece or a disaster. In a town built on comebacks and collapses, Rachel Zegler might just be the biggest plot twist yet. Will she rise from the ashes, redefined and unstoppable, or will the industry's silence swallow her whole? Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and stick around, because this story's next chapter is going to be wild.